Back. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, the fight against illegal mining continues. The case against a group of suspected illegal miners in Stilfontein, Northwest, has been postponed. They were arrested earlier this week in a raid that also seized weapons, including 15 AK-47s. Also in the Stilfontein Magistrate Court, 89 other alleged zamas are appearing in connection with the murder of 6 people in October. eNCA's reporter Moloko Moloto is there and joins us now with the very latest. Good afternoon, Moloko. So clearly there are 2 cases here. We need to make that distinction. Can you perhaps first start with the 21 suspect? Talk us through what happened in court today.
Oh, yes. On Monday, the police went on a raid at an abandoned shaft here in the small town of Stilfontein, and they arrested a total of 20 suspected illegal miners, and they seized during that raid an assortment of weapons, including 15 AK-47s. As you know, they are prohibited here in the country. They also had explosives. The police minister Bekitele says they also managed to seize about 6,000 rounds of ammunition. So these are people, Mfundo, who were prepared to kill at any given time. But luckily, there was no shootout. These men just surrendered. They were arrested. Now, we were told by the police today that the additional men, which now brings the number of suspects who were arrested during or on Monday to 21, and in court today they were 21 in number. This additional person who was arrested later was actually captured by a surveillance camera, we were told by the police, as he was supplying this suspected illegal miners with food and water supplies because they stayed there, they were at work. Now in court today, the presiding officer in courtroom 1, who was presiding over this matter of the 21 people, gave an order that the media should not publicize the names and the faces of the 21 accused men. She did not give reasons, of course, but the court session was quite short, so much that she even said that the matter must be postponed to the 18th of October to allow the state to profile this man, because you would remember that the police minister Bekitele said yesterday that 13 of these men come from Lesotho, 5 of them are South Africans, others come from Swaziland or Eswatini and Zimbabwe. So they need to be profiled so that they can check whether they have the papers that make them eligible to be here in South Africa. So as I said, the 21 men are back in court on the 18th of October.
And then what is the status of the 89 men?
So the 88 men appeared in the very same magistrate court, however in a separate courtroom with a different presiding officer. Well, in there, the presiding officer really was not very strict, except to say that she pointed out that we should not be taking close shots of both the accused as well as officials of the court. But these are people who were arrested, Mfundo, last year in October in the nearby town of Orkney. At that time, the police were also raiding the suspected illegal miners at one of the disused mines there. And unfortunately, during that raid, there was an exchange of fire between the police as well as the suspected illegal miners. And as a result, there were 6 miners who were shot and killed. Now, these ones have been in custody for the whole year, Mfundo, and we heard in court that the legal representatives of 87 of them has actually missed the previous court appearance. Even today in court, he was not in court. Mr. Mofokeng, we were told, is his name. Reasons were not given. We don't know whether it was because they did not pay him or not, but then a decision was taken by the 87 men that they actually want a new lawyer, and they have appointed him. But in terms of the rules of the court, Mr. Mofokeng must now come and confirm that he is no longer going to represent them, and the new lawyer will take over. Their matter was then postponed, Mfundo, to the 15th of November, where there's going to be a pre-trial conference So in other words, their trial date can actually be announced anytime, or even on that day, on the 15th, when they come back. One of the 88 men, we were told that he is not using this lawyer who has recently been appointed. He is going to be represented by Legal Aid South Africa.
I suppose there's another aspect to this particular case that makes it so important because, like you're saying, it's a year in the making. It then says for those that were thinking that the police were resting on their laurels or turning a blind eye to illegal mining, they clearly weren't. Yes, there were cases of recent, particularly what happened in Krugersdorp, that brought it again into sharp focus. But clearly behind the scenes, they were working on arresting most of these illegal miners. But then insofar as the impact of illegal mining there in the northwest, how great is it? Oh, unfortunately, it seems that we lost Moloko there, but a very important story. You understand those two cases. On the 18th of October, the first one of the 21 will be heard, and then the one of the 88 any time from now, long in the making. To those stories.